Atlanta for round 2 of FD. Of course, we got our brand new build, Pablo, and brand new build and some brand new issues this year. But luckily I've got Andy, the Andy Smedeguard from ASM to help out this weekend. And we've been using it as a bit of a test to sort out some of these final gremlins. And he's got a pretty fun diagnostic story on our cam sensor problems.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is a full fresh build, and rarely do we have, you know, no issues. There's always stuff that does pop up. And yeah, we had a cam sensor issue, not really a sensor issue, more of a wiring issue. It was not seeing any cam sensor, and somehow it was actually running just fine. It just would ignore sync and just run on crank sensor only.
Yeah, conveniently, the Link ECU will keep your engine running kind of no matter what, which was, I think, part of why we didn't figure it out at first.
Right.
It's the same setup we ran from last year, so we figured everything should work. The only thing we did was just slap it in a new car.
Yeah.
But we had this intermittent startup issue where it would sometimes start 180 out.
Right, so basically without the cam sensor there, you know, an engine, the crankshaft has to roll over 2 times for the combustion stroke to happen, right? So it doesn't know where it is in its revolution without the cam sensor. So sometimes it would start, you know, 360 degrees out. It did run fine once it started, no issues, keep going, but we wanted to figure this issue out. It's not something we, you know, want to just ignore. We want to make sure we, you know, turn over every leaf. But found the issue. It ended up just was a pinched shielding wire on the cam signal. So with that, it would not see any signal. So I found that shielding wire, being a Hall effect sensor, doesn't need to be shielded. Snip the shielding, pick the cam sensor right up, all good to go.
Luckily this weekend, we did have Forrest from Link ECU here. And he was able to plug in and check through the logs. He gave us the information on the can and ran through quickly a number of diagnostic things.
Yep, I mean, when you're diagnosing something, you kind of have just this process you run through, and having him here on site, able to like hook up his, you know, laptop, bring in a spare ECU, just kind of rule out some really basic stuff, kind of, you know,
to be honest, a lot of us thought it might be an ECU thing, because to us, we didn't make any changes.
Right.
But we were able to run through the tests, ran through, double-check the ECU, and honestly, with Forrest's logic or you know, knowledge of you know, the pull-up resistor that was supposed to be there for the output on the cam sensor, you figured out that
if it's not testing 5 or 12 volts, it's got to be shorting out somewhere. So it was just super helpful to have that support and have him, you know, just kind of us verify a few things with him quick, and then we like, all right, we know it has to be this issue, and sure enough.
A couple hours in, we eliminated it down to it has to be the wire between here and here. You came in the next morning, clipped the shielding, and it like fired right up. So it was kind of fun.
It's rewarding finding the issue. Anytime you're diagnosing something, it's frustrating working your way through it because you just can't make sense of it, right? But at the end, I mean,
it seems obvious now.
It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, what are we doing?